Denali National Park, Alaska. 6 million acres of wilderness, dotted with spectacular glaciers and rugged mountain peaks. It's a magnet for extreme climbers like Dave Nyman and Jim Sweeney.
Man, you should see the view from here!
This is an area as big as England. We were the only climbers in the whole Alaska range that we knew of.
Jim Sweeney's idea of heaven is taking on a treacherous rock face with his good friend Dave Nyman, the man who taught him to climb.
We've had great times in the mountains, thousands of hours, and we've taught each other a lot.
Hey, come on, Nymo! Come on, keep up, slow coach!
Great, Jim! Jim is a better climber overall than me.
Dave and Jim are attempting a route up Mount Johnson that no one has conquered before, though many have tried. It's called the Elevator Shaft, a 2,000-foot ice climb in a wall of granite.
I was looking for something steep and hard to do. I'm a fighter, you know. I grew up as a boxer. I fought every kid in town.
Because a climb is not just the act of climbing, it's also how you interact with your partner, what kind of trust, what kind of knowledge you have of what your partner would do if something happens. Jim's taking out the rope and he's moving fast. He gets up to the end of each length of rope and he keeps pulling me up behind him.
You just forget what's going on when you're going up. I'm climbing. I'm not thinking about anything else. I want to go up.
Hang on, Dave! Gotta get past the snowballs!
After 2 hours of fast climbing, Jim reaches a bulge of snow above him.
I'm looking for ice. I'm looking for something hard to get some purchase in.
Oh!
I was just kind of hunkering down, trying to keep snow from hitting me as he was fussing around up there.
You're thrashing me, Jim!
He's hollering at me, you know, and it's just constantly the snow's going down.
Have you hit anything yet? This is nowhere, Dave. If I can't find some rock and ice to climb onto, I'll come down. Ah!
Cold wave of snow in a kind of a hissing roar that just whooshes by. He's not moving.
Jim! I'm coming, Jim. Just hold on.
He's about 100 feet down below me. I knew I had to work fast. At this point, I don't know what kind of shape he's in. I don't know if he's choking, if he can't breathe. At that point, I know I have to move really quickly to get to him.
Jim?
I can see blood trickling out of his nose and his mouth and his ear.
Jim?
I touch him, and immediately he comes to life.
Jim, stay with me. Get you down. Jim! I'm gonna get you down. Jim? Stay with me!
I had to transition from being more or less the follower to being the leader. I knew everything was up to me from now on.
Dave's first task is to get Jim out of danger. He has to lower Jim's dead weight 1,000 feet down the near vertical rock face of the elevator shaft.
Over several hours, I would lower him below me, and I'd drop Jim down another full length of rope, maybe 165 feet.
Jim, I need you to wake up! Jim! Oh. Okay, here we go. We're going again.
It takes Dave the best part of 5 hours to lower Jim down to relative safety.
Last bit, Jim. Jim. Damn it, Jim. Stay with me. Stay with me, Jim.
I have no memories of the fall whatsoever, none. The first thing real I remember was Dave screaming at me.
Wake up! Come on, stay with me.
Dave and Jim are still 5,500 feet up Mount Johnson, in an area rife with avalanches. Battling deep snow and fading light, Dave drags Jim back to where they'd stashed their equipment. Jim has dislocated his hip. He drifts in and out of consciousness. Now Dave has to find a way of surviving the night.
I dig straight into the hillside and move the snow from this 45-degree face.
He digs a snow hole. The snow will insulate them from the plummeting temperatures of the oncoming night.
Okay, Jim, let's get you safe.
Jim's helmet's virtually shattered, and he's not moving. At that point, I realized that this has gone from bad to even worse. I know with a head injury, you know, if your brain starts to swell, fluids build up, that can pretty much be the end of you. There's all these different things going through your mind. If the weather turns and I don't get word out, we're going to be in a world of hurt. If I go travel alone on the glacier, am I just going to fall in a hole and Jim's left by himself anyway? You don't know what the right answer is.
By morning, Jim is semi-conscious and Dave has made a decision. He's going for help.
Do you think you can light the stove?
Don't go.
Next thing I remember was in the morning, Dave's talking to me. He's telling me he's gonna leave. I told him, I don't want you to leave me. Don't leave me.
I gotta go, Jim. I'm going for help. There's a ski hut up the gorge. Maybe there's people there. They might have a radio. We'll get a plane and be out of here in no time. I'll be back in a few hours, okay?
Leaving a partner in that kind of situation is, you might come back and he'll be buried or he'll be dead.
First, Dave skis a mile down Mount Johnson to the glacier, which runs like a motorway through the mountains. The ski hut is then a 7-mile struggle uphill, a dangerous route across crevasse-cracked terrain.
Generally, if you fall in a crevasse on that glacier, there's really no hope for you. You're gone. You're gone from the world. You might end up 1,000, 2,000 feet down, straight down. It's pretty frightening.
I'm sliding out of control down the gorge. I feel like I'm sledding as a kid.
As soon as I got over 1 mile an hour, it just took off like a rocket.
It doesn't look like we're going to be able to get in today at all. Visibility is too bad. Over.
So I go back up to the mountain hut, and everybody's got this hopeful look on their face.
Looks like they're not going to be able to come in today.
That's great.
When I think back, it's amazing I remain as calm as possible until I started crying. I just started losing it.
I swore I could hear voices, and I don't know if I'm going crazy. I could hear birds chirping, seemingly miles away. I could hear the tinkle of the snowflakes as it hit the snow. My senses became very acute.
Jim and Dave have finally made it to the glacier where they can be seen. It may be too late.
I am starving. I haven't eaten but a few tablespoons in the week and maybe had a couple sips of water. If we don't get picked up now, I'm gonna die soon.
Now you're an airplane. And then I see a little red dot coming up the glacier.
A brief and almost miraculous break in the clouds has made rescue possible.
That was a great moment. It was really hard for me to, of course I broke down and cried at that point. And
You did it, Dave. You did it.
It's the best sound I've ever heard in my life. God, it's like we're at the pearly gates. I mean, he's right there. He's circling over us. He keeps tilting his wings at us.
Get your act together.
he's saying, "Don't cry, stand up, you're a hero." And so he's telling me all this stuff of how to act, you know, you saved my life, you're a hero.
You don't want to be blubbering when the helicopter comes.
Shut up, Jim.
Alerted by Mark's radio, planes have been flying above the clouds searching until the weather suddenly cleared. Those few minutes of sunlight have saved them all.
And when I got off the helicopter at the hospital, we could see our friends all lined up on the fence. It was great. Of course, my mom was happy to see I was the one that was walking.
I smoke dope the whole time I'm in the hospital. My buddies show up with a bunch of beer. It's like a party every day in my room.
8 weeks later, Roberta gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Though Jim never fully recovered from his hip injury, it didn't stop him climbing. Dave is now a father and doesn't climb as much as he'd like to. For his efforts to save Jim, Dave was awarded the Carnegie Medal for bravery. A Hollywood camera crew fly over a live volcano when they experience catastrophic engine failure. Their helicopter crash lands inside the volcano, and the three men find themselves hundreds of feet below the crater rim, next to deadly pools of lava and suffocating in toxic gases.
I can't breathe, I need oxygen.
They are separated, and it's every man for themselves if they are to survive. In their escape attempts, each man must operate at the very limits of human endurance, all the while believing that their companions are dead.
The biggest thing I think about is I can't believe that God put me on Earth to die in the volcano.
The Big Island of Hawaii is home to some of the most stunning scenery on Earth. The island, with its exquisite beaches, dramatic waterfalls, and dense tropical jungles, has been formed over millions of years by volcanic activity. And Kilauea remains one of the world's most active volcanoes. Hawaii's natural beauty has long made it a popular filming location, and cameraman Mike Benson is here to shoot the Pu'uo'o vent of Kilauea.
I love doing aerial photography. It's a real passion of mine. I love to fly. Every time I get in a helicopter, I'm always excited about doing it. I love everything there is about it.
Mike's persuaded his assistant, Chris Duddy, to come along for the ride.
I was Mike's camera assistant. So my job was to, mount the camera, prepare the camera for filming.
Chris and I had worked on 3 or 4 pictures. He had never really flown much in a helicopter, and it was kind of my doing to have him fly with us.
In his quest to get the perfect shot, Mike's hired Craig Hosking, one of the most experienced pilots in Hollywood.
I fly airplanes and helicopters, doing camera work and stunt work in the film business. Michael's helping me line up the shot. I'm helping him with what I see. It's a real synergy that works between me and the cameraman.
We had worked 4 or 5 pictures together, so we were kind of like a little family. I mean, we knew each other.
There was one moment we're flying along the coast. The waves are crashing on the black lava flow that goes down to the ocean. And there's one point where a lava tube opens up, and there was actually lava shooting into the ocean, and there was this great white plume coming up. And I was just like, this is unbelievable. And I'm getting paid.
The crew were shooting the end sequence for the big-budget Hollywood thriller Sliver, in which a helicopter seems to descend directly into the Pu'uo'o vent. Legend has it that the vent is home to the most powerful of all the Hawaiian gods, Madame Pele, and local superstition dictates that you pay homage to her by dropping a bottle of gin into the volcano, ensuring that no harm will come to you.
Well, Chris had the bottle. I yelled to him, I said, when we get over the volcano, I'll tell you when to throw it in.
Chris, you set? Yeah. Now.
And he did kind of a wussy throw.
The air coming up out of the cone is pretty turbulent, and it caught the bottle and it kind of blew it back out, so it didn't actually make it in the cone.
You totally missed. How could you do that?
The crater is about 2.5 miles across. I mean, it's like hitting the Pacific Ocean. I mean, it's huge.
He thinks it's funny. I don't really find it that funny, but
So my comment was, well, that's okay, she'll get the idea.
Even though the offering hasn't been received, Mike, Chris, and Craig go for a take.
Okay, Craig, let's line up for the crater.
Craig lowers the helicopter as they skim towards the edge of the crater.
And rolling.
even a couple hundred feet up in the helicopter, one could feel the heat coming up off of it. It's incredible.
As we arrived near the edge of the crater, we would tilt the camera down and zoom to create the look down, the drop down into the crater.
And cut.
Okay, Craig, take us down and we'll review that. Let's have a look. Okay.
I noticed that the length of film was real short. It was only like 3 or 4 seconds.
Nah, it's not quite there.
You want to see it again?
Yeah, sure.
I thought it was a good take, but obviously when you're making a movie, we'd do a second or third take in case there's any problems with any of the other takes.
It's the ego that we all have to make the perfect shot, to put something on film that nobody else has done before.
Now, let's go try another one.
You feel when you're filming that nothing's going to happen, that you're encased in this piece of metal of a helicopter, and that it's kind of a safe zone. There is always the element of danger, but I've been doing it long enough that we never felt that we were putting ourselves out on a limb or anything. I get more concerned about the traffic in LA than I do about the traffic in the sky.
Okay, Craig, for this next pass, I want to try and take it a little lower and a little faster, if that's all right.
Roger that.
We weren't doing stunt flying. It wasn't any acrobatic aerial work. It was pretty straightforward flying.
And rolling.
It might have seemed straightforward, but as the chopper passes over the crater rim, it experiences catastrophic engine failure.
The first thing to hear and feel is the RPM decreasing. Usually in an engine failure, you have a quick deceleration. This, it was just kind of slowly spooling down.
What's happening?
There's a sound that beeps. I'll never forget that. The beep, 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 beep.
At that point, we're in kind of a whiteout where the plume comes up out of the cone.
Oh man, no way.
And then the next thing he said was, we're going down. And that's something you don't want to hear a pilot say ever.
Sierra Hotel, engine failure, going down in a minute. Hang on!
You get about a second or two of recognition, and then you go right into the emergency procedures. What made this one challenging was the choices I had to make about where to land.
I really didn't understand totally the emergency procedures that he was conducting. I was just thinking, are we going to die?
By a miracle, Mike, Chris, and Craig survived the crash, but their troubles are just beginning. They're surrounded by deadly pools of lava and choking in toxic gases.
I wasn't even really sure where we were. I didn't realize we were inside the cone, inside the crater.
You okay, Mike? Chris? Yeah, I think so.
We looked each other over, and Chris was fine, I was fine. Craig was the only one that had a laceration over his eye.
You're bleeding! What? You're bleeding! I'll get the first aid kit.
Fortunately, we missed a steam crater by a couple of 100 yards, and we missed a lava pool. So of all the places in the volcano, it was probably the safest place, if you can call it the bottom of a volcano a safe place.
The crew is on the crater floor in a thick cloud of VOG, a poisonous mix of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and hydrogen chloride. If they don't get out fast, they'll suffocate.
It had this terrible taste. When you had to take a breath, your lungs would burn. We're thinking that we've got to get out of here because we're going to have a difficult time in trying to get any fresh oxygen.
We were probably about 50 yards from the existing lava pool, and it was hot on our feet.
You hear it bubbling and gurgling and spitting.
We realized when we're looking up, we're inside this crater. Oh my God, we got to get out of here.
I'm gonna try the radio. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Can't get a mayday out. There's no power.
The helicopter's electrical system has been destroyed in the crash. With no radio to call for help, climbing out is their only chance of survival.
We kind of explored going to the north, but that was near the live part of the volcano, and the air was really horrible that direction.
I'm standing on the ledge, and all of a sudden, from over my head, comes this brown and black object wailing down through the smoke. And I hear this thud. And I think that Chris has fallen and plummeted to his death.
Chris!
I don't get any response, and now I think that Craig has died, Chris has died, and now I'm left all by myself.
You know, the smoke was swirling around, and I was hyperventilating, and my adrenaline's flowing, and I wasn't sure where I was going, and I almost fell back into the crater. I was so disoriented because of the smoke swirling around. The rescuers had left some cones in a trail, so I caught onto that. And I came upon their base camp where they had stayed that night. But nobody was there, it was empty.
The unpredictable weather has not only stopped the rescue mission, it's forced the team completely off the volcano.
I tried to drink water. It wouldn't even go down my throat because my throat was so swollen. It was almost swollen shut. There were oxygen tanks with masks, so I immediately put a mask on, and I just figured I would hike until somebody found me or I'd find the highway or something.
It's a 5-mile hike over desolate terrain, but Chris has an amazing stroke of luck when he's spotted by a passing helicopter.
Hey! Over here!
As soon as they grabbed my arms, my whole body went completely limp. Like I almost fell over. They had to actually carry me from that point to the helicopter. My body just shut down.
Chris tells the rescuers that Mike is still alive, but the extreme weather conditions mean they can't make another rescue attempt today. Mike Benson is facing a second night in the volcano.
by myself, thinking that I'm the last survivor of this horrendous ordeal in this volcano. And I kind of just gave up hope for a while. I just thought that the only peace that I would get would be if I just passed away quietly. The biggest thing I think about is, why is my skinny little butt sitting here? I can't believe that God put me on Earth to die in the volcano. Is my ego that big that I have to go back and say that I have to do take two because I want take two to be perfect? But no, I've got to make it better. And with that, endangering myself and my comrades. I started to see Madame Pele, and it was in profile. It looked like she had long flowing hair. Probably around 3 o'clock in the morning, I felt like that there was nobody supporting me, nobody around. My life was coming to an end. So I took a rock and etched on the side of another rock, this big, huge rock. In fact, I love you, Stephanie. I just felt that the end was coming quickly and that there wasn't any other reason to live.
Having survived a helicopter crash, Mike Benson has spent a second night in a live volcano. Both his colleagues have escaped, but Mike believes they're dead. 2 previous ground rescue attempts have failed, so Mike's film company hire another helicopter pilot to attempt another radically different aerial rescue.
All of a sudden I hear this helicopter flying overhead, and I start to see the tail rotor. I'm still looking up, and I start to see the fuselage. And then a head pops out of the left-hand side, and it's the pilot, and he has this old beat-up Vietnam helmet on, and he's waving to me, and I'm waving frantically back to him. Benson, don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything dumb. I'll be back in about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to go get a piece of equipment and come back, and we're going to get you out of here. About a half hour goes by, and I'm thinking, what's going on? They can't find me, or are they giving up, or what? All of a sudden, I hear the helicopter, but this time I can't see anything. The visibility has gone to 0. Helicopter comes in, and they were just dropping this net down and just poking it around to where they thought I was. The second time I saw it was like 10 or 12 feet, and with that it got lodged on this big huge rock, and it got caught up in the net, and they thought it was my weight that was in the basket, so they powered up. I'm thinking to myself, oh, they're never going to come back. This time it's like about 10 feet, maybe 9 feet in front of me out in the middle of space. And with that, I just jumped into the net. They felt my weight on it, and they gave full power and took me up. I could see blue sky above me, and I could see some edges of the volcano. And as we were going past, I remember yelling back to Madame Pele, "I won, you lost."
Believing that he is the sole survivor of the crash in the volcano, Mike Benson is flown to the base camp to be reunited with his wife, Stephanie.
It's so hard to describe, to see the people that you love. Then out of the group, I see Craig come walking in, and then I realized that they hadn't died.
I came over to greet him. He was pretty dumbfounded and amazed and happy that I was okay.
I just couldn't believe that he survived another night in that pit.
I was so glad to be alive that I could literally have run a 5K. I had this much adrenaline being pumped into me.
After test screenings of Sliver, Paramount Pictures decide to change the ending of the film.
Everybody asks when they see the movie, well, there's nothing about the volcano in it. And I said, I know, we changed it all. Everything I shot was for naught.
Craig Hosking continues to fly helicopters and planes on major feature films and is one of the most in-demand pilots in Hollywood.
For a long time, the volcano incident was on my mind a lot. The rescue, the way we did things, and I guess I got to see the core of myself a little bit too.
Chris Duddy has risen up through the ranks of the film industry. He's now a director and producer.
I don't worry that much about death since the accident, you know? I think you just gotta live your life and things happen.
Mike Benson has shot major Hollywood movies. He still loves to fly and now has his own pilot's license.
2 other producers have asked if I wanted to go and do some aerial photography over Kilauea, and I said I don't want to test fate again and be put in a position that I might have to do take 2.